Hello, I'm Jim Athas, and I'm here at First United Methodist Church. Some of you may remember I did a presentation about this organ a few months ago, put that online. Today, I wanted to show some new toys, some new instruments we've got in our church chapel here at First Church in Whitewater. Of course, you're wondering why am I up here showing that. I wanted to demonstrate just a little bit on these pedals, just to show you the difference between this organ and the one downstairs, besides the obvious electronic versus pipe organ. Here's the pedal board. Just take a good look at it and make some sounds on it. You notice this pedal board goes from C to C to C, and one step up to a D. It's also very flat, which is the way they were made in those days over 100 years ago. One more thing, you notice you can have low sounds like this. But I'm able to bring high sounds down to it as well, like this. Or higher. So that's a little background, and why I'm showing you that we'll see later when we go downstairs. So let's go downstairs and see what's happening in the chapel these days. Good morning again. Katie and I made our way down here to the FUMC chapel, where a number of you worship every Sunday, at least up until mid-March. I came here to show a couple of new toys, or new instruments, that we got over the time that you've been gone. These two projects were kind of in play before COVID-19. We had this arranged back in January. This organ is a Phoenix electronic organ. I got rid of the other one because this became available. The other organ was serving us well for 45 or so years, but it had some quirks, a few problems going, and then came Elizabeth Asher along. And Elizabeth wanted to donate her Phoenix electronic organ, and it's about 15 years old, but still operates very well. Has a much better sound, a bigger sound that you might be able to hear over the recording. So it'll be a nice addition. It has a few features and things I wanted to talk about. Also, a project that was in the works from memorial money before COVID happened was this Roland keyboard, and it replaced the Clavinova that we had before. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later as well. So these are two new additions to chapel worship that I thought our congregation might be interested in learning a little bit about. Let's start with the Phoenix organ though. I showed you initially the pedal board upstairs on the old organ, on the pipe organ. Now this one is fun to play, but it's nothing like the pipe organ upstairs. Any organist will probably tell you they prefer the acoustic, the real deal, and the history of that organ upstairs. But this one is interesting in that it has unique sounds, and it has a pedal board that allows you to play a few tunes, play some things that I can't even play upstairs because of the configuration. Let's look at that closely if you can, Kate, maybe from where you are. The pedal board, you might notice the difference from upstairs, has a concave structure. It's not flat like the other one. This one is built to American Guild of Organists standards. The spaces between the pedals are correct. The length of the pedals is longer, which makes it much easier to maneuver. And one feature you could all see is I'm going to go from C to shining C. C to C to C. Now the other organ ended at D, but this goes all the way up to G. And that allows for other music to be played that can't be done upstairs. So I wanted to demonstrate that a little bit. I said that some of the high notes can come down to the pedal like this. So I have a hymn arrangement I'd like to show you. And Katie, you want to stay there or come around and be here? You can tell this is a professional recording. A lot of you know this Christmas tune. We usually call it good Christian men rejoice, good Christian friends rejoice. And I couldn't really play this upstairs because of the range of the pedals. So I wanted to show you some features of it. It's based on that hymn tune. It's a double canon, so let's watch what happens. I need these notes up here to play them, to play this piece. If you know what a canon is or a round, you might have sung this song when you were a kid. So roll your boat as a canon or a round. Well, what Bach did, Johann Bach turned this into a round with that hymn tune. Right foot starts, left foot takes over. Again, up in the range where the organ upstairs can't do. And so on. So you see how one foot copies the other as it goes on. Now that wasn't enough for Mr. Bach. He wanted another canon to fit that tune with the hands to do. So when the right hand starts the melody, the left hand takes over a measure later, like this. So on. You might have noticed, some of you music folks, he added another wrinkle, duple, triple, 2 against 3 kind of rhythm. So some of you know what that is. Listen for that for a minute. So you have all these elements going on in one piece that I could not really play upstairs, even though I prefer that organ way over this one, even though this is a very fine electronic instrument. So let's put it all together and see how it mixes together. 2 canons based on Good Christian and Rejoice. you hear all that going on? Two cannons, duple against triple, and all woven together. And I could not play that upstairs, at least one of the few pieces I couldn't play upstairs, and that's what kind of makes it interesting. Also, this organ has a lot of presets, stop settings that can be changed quickly and easily, which is really handy. Also, they can be reset to different combinations electronically. It can change pitch. It can do quite a lot of things for a 15-year-old instrument. I'd also like to show you something else that we can do here in the chapel. Let's go over and look at the Roland. Let's see if I got the right setting here. That makes sense. So I said we got a good deal on this Roland keyboard to replace the old Clavinova, which was about 30 or 35 years old. It had some note problems, but it worked okay. But I wanted something better, and we did get rid of that old upright piano, the acoustic one, because it was just not working. And as many of you know, they're just not worth fixing. Memorial funds paid for this for about $1,300, and it's a Roland. I've got one at home, and I really like it. So I thought, let's get another one for the church. I just got rid of my old Roland after 30 plus years. So they do hold up well. They have a nice sound, and of course, as you would guess, they have multiple sounds and a lot of things that we don't need to go into. You'll also notice I bought some sturdy wheels, and the reason for that is so we can take it anywhere in the church, fellowship hall, classroom, up the elevator, sanctuary, and it could be used anywhere in the church and easily moved. So that was a nice thing as well. By the way, I forgot to mention, some of you chapel folks will notice the speakers on the corners up there are all gone and holes repaired. Looks nice thanks to Joe Sherman and Dwayne Dickens who helped. So we decided to keep the original speakers with the Phoenix organ. And as you see, they're woofers and tweeters to have the full organ sound. There's one on the left and one on the right. And they're in beautiful furniture cabinets, so they seem to fit the decor, and they're out of the way. So it just seemed to work to keep them and use them as I think Elizabeth Asher would want, who graciously, I said, donated this organ for our church. Another feature I can demonstrate is organ piano duets I can do. So let's just try one. I've got a short one I want to do now, if I can push the correct button. Still learning how to use this. So let's put the two instruments together in a kind of a duet. that's a nice sound, nice combination of things that can be done with both instruments together. So that's about it. I just wanted to share with the whole congregation and especially those uh, 8 a.m. folks that this is what's happening in the chapel, and hopefully we can get together soon. Thanks to generous parishioners here that help, pay for this stuff and help us to have a very fun and invigorating, hopefully, music worship experience. So it's really great. So thanks for listening, and hope to see you here.